Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So, we are currently less than 11 months away from the 2024 presidential election. Joe Biden is probably going to be the Democrat nominee. Donald Trump probably going to be the Republican nominee. And what we really haven't looked at would be how the election is going to shake out via demographics-wise. So I've pulled up the Cook Political Report Swingometer. This is from 2020. Certain trends have changed, but they have the map to the 2020 map, and they have it down as close to it as they possibly can. Obviously, there are still some anomalies here and there. For example, Colorado, it's not going to be a more Republican favorable state than New Mexico. But for the sake of this video, we're going to look past that, and we're going to fill out the map, not via, let's fill out each individual state, but we're going to go demographic group by demographic group and try to analyze what Trump likely gets with that demographic, and we are going to see how the election shakes out that way, because that's what it comes down to. If you have high turnout and support that you grow with white, non-college educated voters, well, that's going to be good for Donald Trump. If Biden maximizes black turnout, which he's struggling with that as we speak right now, well, that's going to be solid news for him. So either way, we're going to fill this out, but first, really quickly, I'd like to tell you guys about redeaglepolitics.com, your one-stop shop for all exclusive Red Eagle Politics content. We've revamped the website a little bit, and you guys can sign up for just 16 cents a day or $5 a month. You get access to all of my exclusive videos. We post a few a month. And also you get access to the Discord, you get access to the articles and the newsletter as well there at redeaglepolitics.com. So without further ado, let's fill this out by demographic. Joe Biden, he's kind of struggling with all of these demographics. The only demographic that he's not completely in the gutter with is like white college educated women, which he is favored with. And you have a lot of Republican strategists that will say, well, Trump is toxic. He can't win because of the white suburban women. And it's like, it's not just that they hate Trump. These are very culturally liberal voters. Maybe they weren't 20 years ago, but age demographics matter too. The times have changed. And Donald Trump is not just the only Republican that's going to struggle with them. If you put up somebody like Nikki Haley, maybe they get 1 or 2% more, but then they drop off massively with other groups, and then that's going to be a major problem. And that's the way it is. And also white college-educated men, I could see Trump doing a little bit better with them this time around. They are far less elastic, and they're not trending to the left as much as white college-educated women are. And there are plenty of demographic reasons for this, but that's a little bit besides the point of this video. Trump's base, and you will hear people say, well, Trump's base is the rurals only. It's not just the rurals, because white working class voters exist in suburbs. They exist in urban areas, even in some places, and that's kind of his core demographic base. Make no mistake about it. And he ran up the score with them 2 times, and he's likely going to have to do it again, and I think he's probably going to have to do it by a wider margin. He's going to need increased turnout, for one. For two, I think, there's a very good chance he could win these voters by close to, I'd say roughly close to 50 points. I'd say around the 40-something range for sure. And this would be a massive positive step for Donald Trump overall to reclaim the White House, because that is his main core base as of right now. That's not going to change. And his policies that he's putting forth to the table, these are pro-worker policies, and he has that agenda. He's focusing less energy on pandering to some of these other minority groups where Republicans are not really going to have the best performance with, even if they put all of their eggs in that basket. We saw that with black voters in 2020. It didn't really work out all that well. So yeah, let's say Trump goes with white non-college educated voters. We'll even say he wins them. We'll even say just by 40 points, because yeah, you're probably going to have third-party vote share eating into the margin. I think Trump could get, in the high 60s. Biden could be in the 20s. So Nevertheless, that would put Donald Trump at 310 electoral votes out of the gate. We haven't even moved any of these other demographics. Then you go down to white college-educated voters. Republicans are kind of struggling with them. I think these are 2016 demographics, actually, so it is very likely that you could say Trump would lose some ground with these voters. But even then, that still is not definitive. I don't know if he's going to lose a ridiculous amount of ground. You'll also see a big third-party vote share with them. So while some ground may be lost since 2016, it's not going to be by a ridiculous amount. And also, Biden's not going to be getting the highest black turnout overall compared to probably even 2020. And you're going to see his margin shrink. It's not going to be like, oh, Trump's winning 25% of the black vote, most likely. Polls are overestimating Trump with black voters. They may be underestimating Biden at the end of the day, but even if that margin goes from Biden plus 80-something to Biden plus 70, let's say Trump gets, 14% of the black vote even, what does that show? If you see turnout overall lower a little bit, that's good news for Donald Trump overall in terms of his electoral prospects. And already looking at this, he's at 306 electoral votes, which would be where he would be at. I think this is using the old map actually, but he probably would end up being relatively close to that. So as long as the electoral votes are not within 5, if Trump is winning, he's winning on this map. And then you go to the Hispanic vote, where Trump gained massively, even though you saw an increase with turnout there. And you probably will see Trump perform respectably well. I don't think he's going to get 40%. I think he could get in the high 30s. That's going to help him out a lot in the state of Texas, Florida. It'll help him have more of a safety net in a state like Arizona or Nevada. And that's going to definitely push his electoral vote total as high as it possibly can go. And then when it comes to these Asian or other voters, he probably gains some. A lot of that's going to come from Hawaii, probably just because of how unpopular Biden's response has been to the Maui situation in Hawaii. Trump's not going to win Hawaii, but could he get the margin, a lot closer than it was? Maybe it'll be like a 15 to 20 point win for Biden instead of being like a 30 to 40 point win for him. But either way, you look at the demography here, and it's like Biden's in a whole lot of trouble because all of the demographics except for white college-educated voters, which are the demographic that turned out the highest in the midterms, but in a presidential year, that's not likely to be the case. They're not going to carry the Democrats in a presidential year the way they can carry them in a midterm year. What does it show? It shows that Biden is definitely in a whole lot of trouble because even though that demographic may yield some decently positive results for him, the results are not going to be positive enough. He could be hitting a ceiling. The Democrats' coalition is not that stable. This whole intersectionality nonsense doesn't exactly work. You're seeing some Hispanics move right. I'm not saying they're going to vote Republican, but what I'm saying is any little bit adds up that can yield a safety net in the short term. Now, in the long term, if you have this unfettered mass immigration, and you, especially with the whole border crisis that's going on, you naturalize all these people, they're going to be voting 80-20 Democrat, you're back at square one. So it's very important for Republicans to get immigration under control, or they're not really going to be able to win elections in the future unless they drastically alter what the party stands for, and that's not something that we want to happen whatsoever. But you're looking at this map and it's like this is a popular vote narrow victory for Trump, which is what the polls are showing. He'd win Pennsylvania by a couple of points. Michigan, I don't think he'd win Michigan by more than Pennsylvania. Like I said, this is not a perfect website overall for gauging that. I think he'd win Wisconsin by the widest margin. But yeah, Iowa by over 10, Ohio by over 10, absolutely can see that. Virginia, I don't think it'd be that close, but it could get closer. California might even be that close. Yeah, New York could be closer than that. Florida, I think it'd be a wider victory for Trump than 5 points. I think Texas, maybe that's a little bit lofty, but you kind of just take all of these results and combine them together. I could completely see Donald Trump winning the popular vote by 1 to 2 million votes. Absolutely, I could see it. Depends what happens on Election Day 2024. We are not quite there yet. But either way, you have to understand how these elections are won. And yeah, we could say a lot of it comes down to turnout, but what demographics have to turn out at what rates for each group for you to win? that's a very logical way of looking at a presidential election when you're going to predict it. I predicted Donald Trump would win in 2016 back when I was in high school because I used the 538 swingometer at the time, and everybody was using it trying to show, oh, well, Trump's going to go down. But then I'm looking at it and I'm like, wait, if the polls that are weighting by education are right in some of these Rust Belt states, well, Donald Trump just running it up with blue-collar white voters compared to past Republicans is going to be able to pick off Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. I didn't know he'd win Michigan, but that was a pleasant surprise to the night. It was a little bit of a icing on the cake, cherry on top kind of thing. I don't really know if he's going to win the state of New Hampshire, but we'll have to see. Either way, Trump is likely headed for a larger electoral college victory compared to 2016, regardless. At this rate, a lot of things can change, but we'll see what happens. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Red Eagle, out.